talking to the travel agent actually today, and I said everybody on the trip would have been very happy to chip in for a conservation program for Antarctica. Everyone.
I bet.
Cynthia,
Anyway,
would you mind putting the contact information of the travel agent in the chat group? Maybe some people want to.
I'll tell you what. I mean, I went with
people.
an old people
Some
thing.
people may.
Okay. Yeah, old people. Yeah, seriously. I mean, because I am old and my husband is a little bit impaired, let's say. But I'll tell you which one I would choose, which is National Geographic, New Scientists. And those are the most kind of expedition-like, really sort of for young people like people who love the sea and so on. So I went with something called Silver Seas, but that's again silver seas. So yeah. So I wouldn't recommend, young fit people to go with Silver Seas. Also because there's a lot of palava that I personally don't like, night shows and so on. I don't like it. It's a small boat. They need to be small. But if I could do it my way, I would go either National Geographic or the New Scientist expedition. Just look expedition, small boats, and you will see there are plenty.
Super cool.
Well, thank you so much for sharing again, and welcome everyone for giving some of your week and some of your time to join us in this Venezuela call. We'll start very briefly, kind of with not introduction, because I think we already know each other, but at least just how are you feeling today and any updates on Venezuela and your businesses. And of course, if you want to throw in something personal like Cynthia did, please do so, because that's also something that we value and I think it's enriching this community. So Juan, do you want to follow and tell us a little bit more about how you've been since we last spoke and how's Venezuela and anything else that you want to share?
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yep, we can hear you well.
Okay. Well, hello everyone. So far, we have been some changes. It's supposed to be an increase in the salaries in May the 1st, which is the Labor Day. We don't know how much it's going to be. It's supposed to be helping the people a little bit with the cost of life. Inflation here is quite high, so it's very hard to catch up with the day-to-day basis. Further than that, the country is in calm. We have not seen, any signs of protests or people put in jail again or something like that. Some threats from the current administration. But today is going to be a test. Some protests supposed to go to the Miraflores, which is the government palace, to protest for labor rights and wages. So we will see how that ends. Depending on that, we will see if we have a peaceful continuation or not. Actually, I don't know. And further than that, people still optimistic, but start talking about not receiving any change in the real economy. Of course, it will take some time. Some sanctions has been released so far. This is, of course, helping, but it's not something that is going to happen in instant mode. Companies must, take their precautions, still aiming for change in the legal frame of some areas, like mining or other things in oil and gas or labors or any other laws must be void or replaced. So we have not seen any advance in that sense. Even the Congress, which we call la Asamblea Nacional, is discussing some laws, and in some cases they don't have agreements of what they want to change. So it's taking more time that a lot of people want. Okay.
Wow, that sounds like is still early, sounds like. Now, the people in power are still the same. Has there been any changes to the people in power or no? I mean, I've heard some
Yeah,
rumors.
some changes, of ministries or people in charge of different government companies. Yeah, it has been some changes, but still the same people. Huh?
The same
It's the
administration, basically, right?
same
No one.
administration. It's not that they are picking people from the opposition and putting these people in some sectors. It's not happening like that. It's just they are just moving old names and putting new names, but it's the same group.
And how are protests being received there? Are people able to protest peacefully, or is it trying to
Well,
be shut down?
in
Or
in in the past, the people didn't even try to protest
yeah,
because if you do it or tweet something, you will end in jail. Nowadays, what we're seeing is that in the some national TV channels, and of course the WhatsApp or Instagram, this kind of medias, we're seeing more people protesting. In the past, before it gets really strong with the protest side, we had more than 600 protests a year. It was documented in that way. But as I mentioned, today is going to be crucial to see if it's going to continue in this way or not, because it's the first protest nationwide, because they are asking the people not only to go to the government palace, but also to do some congregations in the Bolivar squares, which is the most important square in every town in the country, to give some support to this protest in favor of the work labors and on wages. So we will see how is the reaction of the government. And tomorrow probably is something we can see in the news, I think.
okay.
Okay.
Well, that's encouraging, and thank you for sharing. We'll keep kind of monitoring the situation. Is there any particular ask or request for the group? Not only the people that joined today, Juan, but the people that usually listen to the recording or the people that are following on WhatsApp and LinkedIn. Any help needed or any particular requests to people? Okay, well, I'll let you think on that question and see kind of towards the end. I'll come back and ask again. George, if you want to tell us, and Nehemiah, very nice to see you. Welcome and thanks for joining. We're basically just going around and telling how everyone's feeling and any news or updates on the situation. And of course, then Cynthia is going to present more officially a little bit of her organization, so we're all very excited about that. But George, go ahead. Anything on your end? Quick update, how you're feeling today?
Everything is good on this side. I mean, I wish I could help a little bit with this situation going on, and we got full support of our region with anything that we can assist. We'd be glad to do it. Just let us know what we can do.
Absolutely, and thanks for joining again, and then thanks for always being so willing to help. Nehemiah, do you want to go ahead and just give us a quick update, see how you're feeling, and share any thoughts that you might have?
Hi everyone. Yeah, no, I just saw the link on LinkedIn and joined just to listen in. My name is Nemias Cortez. I work for Convoy of Hope, and just wanted to hear what's going on in the situation on the ground. And so what Juan was saying earlier, that's valuable. So yeah, here to listen more than anything else.
Well, and tell us a little bit more about, so you say Convoy of Hope. Where are you headquartered? Where do you live?
Yeah, so Springfield, Missouri is our headquarters. We do have warehouses in West Coast and a new one now in Atlanta area in Georgia. What we do is we apart from the program side of children's feeding, women's empowerment, and agriculture, we have a pillar of disaster services, and that's the department that I work with. And so just yeah, again, listening in, trying to understand more and more about the situation in Venezuela is what
You work with Ryan and
interesting.
Audra?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Ryan is my senior director.
Got it. Okay. They're awesome.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
congratulations on the warehouse in Atlanta. We would love to stop by and say hi. I live in Atlanta, so we're here, we're locals, and we would love to continue helping you. You guys, of course, have an amazing organization, and we have good friends there. So thanks for joining the call, and thanks for also doing what you're doing. It
Absolutely.
can be easy, right? Being in a task force like the one you're leading right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. No, thank you guys for putting this up. Yeah.
Well, Nuria or Christy, I don't know, you guys want to share something or share a little bit of about updates since we last spoke, and then we'll leave it to Cynthia to take over and present the information that she already gathered for us today.
Yeah, no huge updates on my end, just trying to still connect with people who are working in and around Venezuela. I know Arthur wasn't able to be here today from World Central Kitchen, but he's still interested also in learning what's going on as they continue to think about re-entering Venezuela. Um, and I think, it's another one of these difficult scenarios. There's a lot of interest in the beginning, and then, of course, now we have the Iran and Middle East thing going on, and so the headlines pivot, and especially on the humanitarian side, there's so many people being pulled in so many directions right now. So I know the people I'm talking to behind the scenes are trying to figure out, where they're going to enter, when, where to put their time and resources now. But I think everybody's still incredibly curious as to what's going on in, what we're not seeing in the news currently in Venezuela and what's happening on the ground. And so I really appreciate Juan and everything he said so we can learn more about, what's happening in real time. That's why I was really curious about the protests and how those are being received. Because you never know from one day to the next. And so it's encouraging. Hopefully, we'll continue to see change there.
Nuria, thank you, Christy, and I agree with you. I mean, we'll continue to have these conversations. I think it is very early. We knew it from the very first call that we had, and we know that participation kind of shrinks quickly with everything else that's going on around the world. But I think just keeping an eye on the situation is important. And of course, making sure that everyone understands that we're here to help out if there were anything that we can do. It's also important. So, Nuria, anything on your end?
Not really. This is the first time that I can join the Venezuela call. And also, I am very excited about the call today because the first time I met Cynthia in Geneva last year for the ADEX conference, she was amazing. She was as you've seen it, and I know that she's the work that she's doing at Healing Venezuela, it's incredible, and I am very excited about the conversation today. Yeah.
We are all very excited. So without further ado, we'll leave it to the rock star of today's call. Cynthia, go ahead.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to be, because I've been away quite a long time. If you don't mind, I'm going to share actually a website, the Healing Venezuela website, because I know the team has updated the data, which is very important for us. So in a nutshell, Healing Venezuela was founded in 2016 in response to the humanitarian crisis that was already unfolding. I personally had been working before with other NGOs in different parts of the world, but I said, okay, no, there is nothing in the UK that can provide humanitarian health focused on public health. Okay, so public health in Venezuela used to be. Juan is probably too young to remember, or to know, but Venezuela was at the forefront of medical advancement in Latin America. So we had fantastic institutions, excellent doctors, great hospitals, and during the period of the boom of the oil, Venezuela invested a lot of money in infrastructure and medical training. That has started to collapse with not only with this recent administration. I mean, the recent, not so recent, quarter of a century is not recent, but also previous governments had really not paid too much attention to public health. So when you have a population of 70% in poverty, 8 million people had to leave the country. Amongst those 8 million people, 33% of senior doctors, hospital starts to really suffer. But then when you have such a huge proportion of Venezuelans living below $2.5 per day, the hospitals become extremely important for the vast majority of Venezuela. So this is where we focused our efforts. So public health, and this is a little bit like the challenges. Which were the challenges that we're facing? 80% of Venezuela can't afford medical care. 30% of children are malnourished. 33%, as I said before, senior doctors have migrated. No access to drinking water, hospital infrastructure, increase in maternal. I mean, this was really terrible. Increase in maternal mortality, but terrible for us, probably for us Venezuelans or women who are mothers. Anyway, so our impact so far, and I will explain where these numbers come from. Okay, but we do have in 10 years we managed to facilitate access to free medical care, quality medical care, to more than 2 million people through mainly our junior doctors program and our potable water program and critical medical equipment. We also have, we had a food program for children at risk of malnourishment. There was a huge malnourishment crisis in Venezuela. It's still going on, but there was a peak of malnourishment, and we received, these dramatic pictures of kids that you would never imagine a country like Venezuela floating on oil. You have a child that at 6 months old, he had a prognosis of 6 months of life, a perfectly well, healthy child because of malnourishment. So anyway, so this is what informed our strategy, this impact, and how we could, which were the areas that we could have more impact. Because one thing that we needed to understand, that we understood, is that when you are in the UK, in a country where charity and also empathy is so well organized, there is a huge infrastructure of charity in terms of law, systems, responsibility, accountability, etc. You really need to convince your donor that you are providing, that the dollar or the pound that he is donating has the hugest impact, the biggest impact. And this is what we try to do with these programs. So let's go with this. This is not in the order of importance, but I'll go very quickly through the ones that we're currently doing. A little bit of background, okay? So Healing Venezuela started. I had cancer twice, so I was in and out of hospitals the whole time. And then at some point, I said, well, I discovered that I saw some nurses making boxes with not refused, they were discarded medical supplies in perfect conditions. Like, for example, a nappy of baby nappy, okay? It was never used. But it couldn't be reused because the baby, grew up, and the mother never used the pack of nappies, so returned it to the hospital, and the hospital couldn't give it back to another child, so they were sending it to the incinerator, and like this, many, many, many things. So I started to say, well, where are you going to send these boxes? I say, Africa. Well, what about Venezuela? And this is how it started. Healing Venezuela started with my husband and I and my daughter collecting medical supplies across the hospitals and da-da-da-da. Then we started with equipment. When the voice spread that there was this charity, we were collecting surpluses from hospital, we started to receive also medical equipment, which was shipped to Venezuela. And so from this initiative, that was really, to be quite honest, a family initiative, very limited, just taking advantage of an opportunity, it exploded in a way that, because there was so much need in Venezuela, and because we could harness the desire of helping, the willingness of helping of the Venezuelans in the UK, specifically on health, okay? So we started with this program this is now a past program, this program of sending medical supplies and equipment, because during COVID, we couldn't collect anything else. It stopped. Everything stopped. So that program is now, we moved on from this. And what we have now, and I'm going to start with the most impactful one. So this is scholarship for junior doctors. Since 2018, we have approximately given 342 scholarships for junior doctors. So junior doctors, they are the ones, they are doctors, but they need to continue their study to specialize in, nephrology, pediatricians, gynecology, whatever. And so they are, because the senior doctors have left the country, they man the hospitals. They are the ones who actually run the hospitals. But today, they earn $80 per month if they're lucky, and if they get the thing. And they see on average, because we have the statistics, how many patients do you see per month? They see on average 200 patients per month. So do the math. And you will see that each consultation in Venezuela costs less than $1 per month. So this is the program that really, if you do, so again, every year we had, at some point when we were rich, we had 150 scholarships per month. So we had 150 junior doctors that we sponsored. And at the time it was $50 per month, because obviously the inflation has changed, so we need to keep up with inflation. And each junior, if you do the math, you think, okay, if I have 100 doctors, they see 200 patients per month. It's a huge amount of people that you are touching, that you are improving their life quality and facilitating access to free medical care. So junior doctor programs for us is the most important program, is where we focus most of our fundraisings. We write endless grants requests for this, and this is we're still going on. It's still going on, and we have graduated already 200 something junior doctors across 8 states of Venezuela, where there is most of the high density population. So, for example, in Caracas, when we have 4 hospitals where we have junior doctors training there, but we also have in Mérida, in Maracaibo, in Anzoátegui, in Lara, and we used to have also in Nueva Esparta. So this is a very important program. Potable water in hospital, well, that's another key issue in Venezuela. The quality of water was very poor. And we started to read reports about children, babies, perfectly healthy babies, who died because of a waterborne bacteria. So we were approached by one hospital, J.M. de los Ríos in Caracas, and we could find a way to install a potable water plant in that hospital, and then 2 more in Caracas. They are still operating, and we produce thousands of liters of potable water per year. And again, this is a huge impact program, because these are hospitals that have a footfall of around 50,000 people per year. So since 2019 to date, again, do the math, and you will have a huge impact. Then another program, then ongoing program. So these 2 that I just mentioned here, they're ongoing. This is also ongoing, and this is an amazing program, because in 2023, we were contacted by a fellow from the New York University School of Medicine. She's an American living in Venezuela, because her husband is Venezuelan. And she specialized in a technology that is called POCUS, point of care portable ultrasounds. Okay, so these are small machines that, like the size of a telephone, and you can scan with this machine, do a scan everywhere, in any part of your body. And this technology was not in Venezuela. So she said, look, I am a specialist in this. I'm prepared to use to do the training, I will use the University of New York. The New York University has allowed me to use their training. I will translate it, but I just need the devices. So we tried and we said, okay, let's try 5 devices. And it was such a success, such an incredible impact on this hospital. There was the Clínico Universitario, so in Caracas, where she was trained, she was working, that the curriculum of internal medicine in Venezuela changed to introduce this new technology. And so we raised funds. So she had 5 were given to this hospital, but we say, okay, but we want to help the hospitals where we have junior doctors. So we raised funds for that, and we sent last year 7 portable ultrasounds, and now has been training different cadres of doctors to be trainers in this technology, and each hospitals that she has identified as critical for the use of where you don't have proper ultrasounds, is going to have received 2 of these devices, and they will be trained. None of the devices has been lost, stolen, anything. They're still all there. Then we have this program that, as I said, is very close to our heart. It's about reproductive health. So the last statistic that the Minister of Health produced in terms of childbirth, in Venezuela, mortality was an increase. There was an increase of 65% of childbirth mortality. So women who died while giving birth. And of these women who died, 75% were teenagers. So again, an appalling situation. There was a lot of domestic violence and a lot of horrible things going on. So we identify an NGO that has been operating in Venezuela for 50 years, very serious. They receive funds from Japan, the European Union, Italy. But now, because of there's so many crises in the world, they were starting to get really not getting enough funds. And so we joined efforts with them. And to date, we have given chance to 2,800, more than 2,800 women to choose the right to reproduce, when they want to have children, if they want to have children. That it's, so the prevention of pregnancy, unwanted pregnancy in Venezuela. There is a right that women in civilized countries or in other countries have. In Venezuela, there was no chance because there was no state programs to prevent unwanted pregnancy, because there were no anticonceptive, never mind implants, and so on and so forth. So we helped these 2,800 women to choose what they wanted to do. Some of them with children at 13. Some of our patients were, one of them was a girl with a 13-year-old. She had a baby, and her case was traumatic because she was raped by her stepfather, and the mother kicked her out of the house. So this is the sort of cases that we confront in Venezuela. So less, let's say less common. So this is not a continuous program, because again, when we have the money or when we have the equipment, we can do some hospital infrastructure improvements, like installing air conditioning in a blood bank in a cancer hospital, or preparing a dentist unit in the Vargas Hospital, which is the only free dentist unit in that part of Caracas. So these sort of things. This is kind of a ad hoc, and then past programs where we fed children, as I said before, this send of medical equipment and so on. So Healing Venezuela is based in the UK, but we have also now a branch or a group in America, in the US, with an alliance with SOS Telemedicina, a very prestigious outfit of the Universidad Central de Venezuela. And we work with them. They're basically, their job is all about medical training. We also have a small group in France, and what they do, they support our programs. Unlike Healing Venezuela US, Healing Venezuela France just supports our program. So this is a little bit, this is the story of Healing Venezuela. We are very proud to say that we have won several prizes, several awards. I think they all should be higher at the bottom. Yes, these are our awards. So the first time we won something was actually in 2019, and we won this magazines here. Um, they do these awards, and we won the startup charity of the year because we had just 2 years, and we won the charity of the year that has startup. Then we were shortlisted in two categories for the Times magazine. Then we won actually the humanitarian response, the Global Good Award, and we won it with UNICEF. So UNICEF and us won the same category of Global Good Award humanitarian response in that year. It was 2024, I think. Yeah, 2024. So, this is important for social validation, especially in the UK, where people, Venezuela, really? I mean, what is Venezuela? All the sanctions, all the bad news, and so on. And so you need to have a lot of social validation, which is via programs, via these awards, with, fulfilling the requirements of the Charity Commission, and also social media, where we explain what we do, and also newsletters. Those who want to know more about us, they can register to our newsletter, and we send them every quarter. So this is what we do in a nutshell. In 2024, there was a report from the National Assembly where 75 organizations like ours and individuals involved in organization were blacklisted in the government and basically forbidden to operate and so on. We were not mentioned, and I still don't know exactly why, but I suspect it's because we have been very, very low profile politically. We all have our strong ideas about politics in Venezuela, but we have kept it to ourselves. Very low profile. We don't meddle with politics. We don't have a political agenda. We're all volunteers. I never worked so much in my life for nothing, for free. So it's I think that has been our saving grace, that we really stick to the humanitarian principles of independence, humanity first, neutrality, and that has helped us in our journey. So I am stepping down this year after 10 years of hard work, and I have a wonderful, wonderful team that is taking the baton, led by the doctor who gave the direction of Healing Venezuela. And I will do this sort of thing, so advocacy, fundraising, and this sort of stuff. So then Healing Venezuela will continue, and yeah, and I'll continue to help. But this is in a nutshell what we do. So if you have any questions, just fire off.
Thank you so much for the presentation. It's incredible it's amazing how many things you guys are doing and how much positive impact you have brought to Venezuela. So I'm just humbled and excited and inspired by what you have done. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Outside of money is always a thing. Nobody's going to turn down money. Outside of money, what is it you might ask from our community? Is it supplies? Is it introductions? Is it, what are some of your needs right now?
Introductions are always important because especially there are companies. So we don't get grants from governments. Governments don't want anything to do with Venezuela, and many companies don't want anything to do with Venezuela. But from time to time, we have received grants from organizations that have been life-saving. So private companies that have, let's say, CSR programs, or they have corporate social responsibility, we are the perfect candidates for these sort of programs. That's one thing. So introductions to private sectors or to foundations that would be willing to accept a request for money for grants for Venezuela. We are not shipping anymore to Venezuela, but I think that, sorry, I might mispronounce your name, Nimas Cortez. I remember approaching medical bridges, asking for them if they would ship medical equipment to Venezuela, and they were absolutely no way. They wouldn't do anything with Venezuela because of the sanctions, because of corruption, because of da 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 da. which is frankly quite disappointing because the vast majority of Venezuelans are very decent people. So if I don't know if there is a chance for these huge organizations like Medical Bridges, like yours, NIMAS, if you would be willing to send medical equipment to Venezuela, we can definitely put you in touch with hospitals there. They're desperate for equipment and supplies and everything, all sort of things.
Yeah, medical sorry, I'm jumping in just to answer that question, but medical is something that Convovope doesn't we jump on that sometimes, but it's not just the usual item. We focus more on food and non-food items like hygiene kits and so on. Um, but the organization, as it has tapped into that in the past, um, yeah, could be that there is an opportunity. But Venezuela, it's a program country for us. Um, so again, on those four pillars that I mentioned earlier, we are pretty big on those. Sorry about the music in the back here if you guys are listening to that. But yeah, so I actually will have to step out. Need to jump on another meeting. I'm leaving my contact here, so you guys feel free to reach out. Okay?
No problem.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much.
Awesome.
joining.
Thanks for
No,
joining. Yes, and
thank,
good luck on your meeting.
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you so much.
Cynthia, we do have some other clients that do ship medical supplies. So I'm happy to inquire on your behalf for them as well to see if that's something, if they've done that before, if they're interested in Venezuela. But yes, you are. I was actually just volunteering last week at one of our clients that ships medical supplies to Ukraine. And since we work with multiple people like that, I'm continually, much like you, confounded by the amount of waste that if it is not repurposed, that just gets destroyed, and then the amount of things that are still in perfectly good condition that that aren't diverted into a use if they don't know what to do about it. So I'm glad that there are organizations out there that are focused on repurposing those to
Yeah.
people in need. But yeah, I mean, our Atlanta team has done sorting at those kind of places, and you're sorting through things like Band-Aids. You're like, this is still perfectly good and could be of help
Yeah,
to
it's
someone, but
incredible.
it's amazing. Billions
It's
of dollars.
incredible. Billions. And then a medical equipment that, oh, well, it's out of date. We want
Yeah.
a new one. Well, okay, what are you going to do with the old one? Give
Yeah.
it to me. There are organizations in the UK that do that, and in Africa, as I said before, because there is this colonial link. But Venezuela, people don't want to work with Venezuela. So it's just us Venezuelans who want to do. Anyway, I can put you in touch with very decent, serious doctors and hospitals that would be willing to get anything. We just stopped doing it because of after COVID,
Sure.
we had also to anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah,
I
thank
think
you,
so,
Chris.
and for that, and thank you so much. I think Juan, of course, is key because he is in charge of shipping a lot of stuff into Venezuela, and he's an expert when it comes to importing and exporting products. I think the doctors and the need is very evident, and I'm sure that those contacts would be very interesting to have. But then if you can then go one step further and see if anyone that's shipping already, I mean, is there shipping department for that hospital, or what would be a better contact, I guess, at the hospitals or at those organizations? Because we understand the need is there, but we would need someone that can actually have the sourcing, someone that can actually have the products that they want to be shipped into Venezuela, and then someone that can coordinate the shipping. And that could, of course, be something that Juan could be interested in because that's what his main job is. So.
Well, I mean, we have them because that's what we used to do in Venezuela. We have people that in all these hospitals where I'm talking about, where we have these junior doctors, which are not at the moment are 7 hospitals. We used to have much more for the medical supplies, but those 7 hospitals, we have very strong relationships with in La ULA, the Universidad de los Andes, JM. All these hospitals are big hospitals. They're very committed people who work with a lot of yes, passion for this, for nothing. So these would be people that I would definitely recommend. Others I wouldn't, but these people are, and they're not the top authorities. You would never go there. You would need to go with, other kind of people, sometimes from the back door. That's what we used to do. But there are lots.
Okay. And they know where to get the products from, right? I mean, the sourcing, do they need help with sourcing the materials or just with shipping the materials? That was more of my
They would need help sourcing the material. I mean, they would need help with everything, really, to be quite honest. So, and I think, unfortunately, from the UK, we don't there is no in the UK there is not a place like Medical Bridges in the US where they are in charge of collecting all this surplus, and they coordinate even the shipping. So probably they work with either you guys or people like you to coordinate the shipping. So it wouldn't be straightforward, but it's not impossible, and it's something that it could be coordinated because there is a desperate need for that.
No, that would be great, and also it would be great if you can also pass the, I guess, invitation to join the next call as well, so that maybe Juan again, who's the expert in Venezuela, can ask additional questions if need to. But no, thank you so much. I don't know if anyone else has any questions for Cynthia. Okay, Christy, we're all yours.
Thank you so much. That was great. I knew a little bit of the top line of your organization. Of course, Nuria got to meet you at ADEX and said wonderful things, but I'm delighted to see you here today. And, thanks for sharing your mission with us and then those who will catch the recording as well. And again, just appreciate everybody's perspective and sharing and willingness to help and learn more about the situation. Of course, we have the WhatsApp group as well. So if you're not in there, please join. It allows us to have these conversations and share updates and ask for things in between the meetings as well. But if there's anything we can do for you in the meantime, then we're here. Please reach out, and we look forward to our next call with you and continue learning and collaborating. And we know sometimes it just takes some time and a lot of effort. That's kind of what logistics is. But yeah, we appreciate everybody wanting to be involved in these conversations and just for them caring about what's happening in Venezuela.
So
I really
one
appreciate it.
question that yeah, go ahead, Juan. Or someone else. Yeah, go ahead, Juan. Oh, it wasn't you? I thought someone wanted to say something. Okay, just when do you guys think should we have the next call? And what's the cadence here so we can better manage the effort and of course everyone feels that they're getting a good return on their time by joining these calls. Is it 1 month maybe to see how things are in a month? Juan, what do you suggest given all the local developments that you're seeing?
Yeah, the time frames for me seems fine. It's not going to be fast, but a month follow up is okay.
Yeah, so let's try to reconnect in 1 month. Of course, if there's other things that we need to follow up, like the list of contacts, Cynthia, and all that, let's share them now, and we can work on those things. And then when we meet in 1 month, we'll have something more to not only talk about, but something more practical and real, tangible to do together. So we can start kind of going from. It's a great group. I enjoy being here. Everyone gives us a great update on what they're doing and how the situation is too, hopefully slowly shifting towards, and then what, right? Are we really adding value as a group or we're just super nice and talking and have fun for an hour every month? So hopefully we can start pushing towards the second part, building some bridges, building some connections, maybe really starting to enact some of the changes that we want to see. And I thank you all for taking the time and participating.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Christy, I'll share a contact with the one person that Juan can get in touch. She's in
Perfect.
Caracas, and if Juan is in Caracas, because she's the one that is in charge of the portable ultrasounds. She worked at the Hospital Clínico Universitario, and she's very clued up. So So I think that she would be, yeah, a good sounding board for the possibility of sending
Your
medical
name is
supplies.
Cinzia? Huh?
My name is Cinzia de Santis. Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
very Venezuelan.
Yeah, we're happy to help. It's not so easy when there are donations because in some cases the receiving companies or foundations, they don't have the proper documentation and all that. Here, bureaucracy is very hard, as you know. But we're happy to help in any sense that we can. Just I will put my phone here so you can give it to her. Any help that we can give her, we're happy to.
Well,
And
we solved that problem with a letter from the charity, and it has worked in the past.
okay, so
Yeah.
it's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
If the proper documentation is there, then there's no issue whatsoever.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
We have done it. Yeah.
Do you have any travel plans, Juan? Any conferences?
Yeah, we used to have a very regular donation for cancer medicine that stopped because in some point they wanted to charge for duties and taxes and there was no way to solve it and this donation stopped. And so these kind of things that we see, it's very sad to see these kind of situations because the patients really need this kind of medicines. For us, it's not. We are really not making profits of this kind of business because it's more helping than anything else. But we cannot force the authorities to agree, to do things. It's very hard sometimes.
Okay, and Juan, I'll reach out to you separately, but thank you, everyone. I think we are on time, and we'll set something up for a month from today. And again, thank you so much and have a great week.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
So
Bye. Ciao,
Thank
Nuria.